Hi everyone, and welcome back to another session of the Advancement Centre. And I suppose it's welcome to the world of magic and miracles as well. We're about to move a little bit further than we do normally. So as I connect with each one of you, you'll start to feel a slight difference. Nothing major, but just that slight difference that will take you to another place. This time we're venturing past all limits. Not like before, but way past. Into the area where you won't want to come back. So just settle with it and feel comfortable and know that you're in safe hands. Right now, we decided to broadcast from outside, and there'll be a little bit of wind and a little bit of disturbance, but that's what it's all about. Everything will be timed correctly, and you'll enjoy every moment. There's a place within each one of you that's totally comfortable. And there's a place beyond that that's exotic. And now we're going to where it's exotic. That place is the edge of reality. And the reality that you're used to has no connection to it at all. But as you step past that point into the perfection of nothing, you will see that the reality you've been holding is a very, very small part of the total reality that we're about to experience. So there's no action needed except let's go. And here we are, able to expand and take ourselves in real light of who we are. Much, much bigger than what will fit in the old world. And in fact, all the pressures that you thought you had don't exist. While we're in this place of exotic movement and expansion, we can encompass all the things that we've been wondering about all our lives. We have access to everything without moving 1 inch. We have access to the perfection that we don't need anymore because we just went past it. We have access to all the things that we thought we might have wanted, that we don't need them anymore. What we do have access to is beyond our knowing. But after we've finished today, it'll be part of your whole being. And you won't care about what you know. The brilliance of each one of you allows you to expand without even thinking about it. It allows you to visit whatever you want. But the funny thing is, when you're in that place, you don't have any wants. You don't need to visit anything, and you don't need to find out anything. Because within each one of you, you know beyond a doubt, whatever you need to do will just happen. And the balance is no longer needed. You have no support, you don't need it. You don't need to be balanced, and you don't need to stay upright. The gentle movement that is totally irrelevant to everything we have here now. If you look at it, you can see that you can be upside down, back to front, whatever angle you like, and you're totally perfect. And you can move just by deciding to move. You can float, you can stand in the middle of something. You can be bigger than anything or smaller than anything in an instant. And it's great fun. But you don't really have any needs or any direction. And you don't really have anything to fix. So what's it all about? It's about everything being not only available to you, but there in an instant before you even think. It's about having no delay in anything. And it's about being so expanded, you can't imagine how you can possibly shrink down and get into your own reality. It's almost like there's no explanation because we've walked away from the world of explanation. The reason I've taken you there is because it won't be long before you decide to go there and stay. Because it's at that point you can access all the dimensions that you said you would access to bring what you said you would bring to this world. It's where you don't have an explanation, but you can do anything. And it's where the mystery of your life actually resides. So in that residence of mystery, your spirit runs wild. It keeps showing you over and over and over all the different things. It only takes you there if you follow. So you can sit and watch, or you can be out there and active. And I think most of you came here to be out there and active. There are major, I suppose you'd call it, pieces of data available that make no sense until you're in that place. But if I said to you, there's an essence that's available in a dimension that you've never been to, that provides intelligent motion throughout the universe, you'd say, well, that's possible. But when I go further and say it's an essence, just like the essence of a flower, it's something that you can carry with you. You can put it into action in any way at all. Once you've accepted the fact that it's available, you can only access it from this magnificent space where you're expanded beyond something that you used to call your reality. This essence will actually intelligently offset the magnetic field of any object, of any article, of a feeling, of an interaction with planets of all sizes at any time, and allow you to move freely without restriction, without even the effect of gravity. This intelligence was offered to us from another dimension, and I wrote a lot about it today. Until we accept the offer, the foundation of the whole, what would you call it, ability that doesn't belong in this world, can't be passed on to humanity, even though it's been gifted to humanity. So it's a little bit like, if you don't actually know it's there, how can you accept it? But if you can just feel for a moment what it's like to have an essence around you that allows you to move smoothly at all times, nothing runs into one another. No matter what the force is, it doesn't affect you. No matter how big the force is, it gets offset. Every part of your life is made up of something that this essence will offset every difficulty that we've ever known. Only needs the forces cancelled. And this essence of free movement is ours if we want to take it on. I said I'd get to the point where things are a bit way out. Well, that's just one. There's many, many more. But if we can just get a feel for the elevation of what we have available to us, once we reside in reality as it is, where it's limitless and without any forces, we've got the opportunity to actually demonstrate to the world that we're interconnected to so many different dimensions and so many different worlds. And we can use them here in the place where we decided we would demonstrate our skills. This is the biggest thing in the world, to be able to demonstrate your skills. Not the skills that half a dozen people taught you when you were growing up, but the skills of the universe and beyond. The skills that each one of you brought with you. When I take you to these places and example on, it's nice if you can just remember the number of times where when you've been in a special state where you've visited them yourself, where you felt like you could take off, where you felt you could fly like a fairy, where you felt there was no opposition to anything. And there are little patches in your life where you've had those demonstrations. And you brought them in to show everybody, and then you said, well, if you're not watching, here, try this. Boom. And you dumped a heavy load on someone and said, hey, walk around with that for the rest of your life. And in fact, the reverse is what happens when you're in the reality that contains everything. Because the harshest thing you can do turns into a gift. You use those same attitudes when you're in there, it will lift people off the ground. It will make them so elevated, they'll go, whoa, thanks, instead of, whoa, what have you done to me? So everything gets reversed. And particularly if we take on the essence, not of just perfection, but of everything that's beyond the perfection that we've been talking about. Can you just imagine if you could demonstrate that gravity doesn't really worry you here? That somebody's aggression turns into an elevating force? That everything we thought was being done against us actually turns into something different? We call it magic here. But where we are in real time, in a reality that doesn't contain anything of the reality that we're used to, then we have the opportunity to look for all the gifts that were offered us. We're sitting here now, the wind's blowing, everything's alive, and we're not even taking any notice. In fact, it was freezing just a while ago, and we're all okay, because we're not connected to the reality that we're sitting in. We're sitting in a reality that contains it. And in that reality we're sitting in, we can have whatever we want. And we don't even have any wants. So it sounds a bit crazy from a logical point of view. But why would you use logic when you don't have to? The things that have been fed to me not exactly something that you can relate in everyday terms. But as we're talking, you will start to feel the size of what I'm talking about. And every small step towards an understanding that is not in this world will gradually bring in a new set of languages, a new set of words, a new set of feelings, a new establishment that we know is correct, where each one of us can communicate with one another just not even by seeing, but we know we're communicating, and we know beyond a doubt that we're exactly right. If you use the word confidence, you can forget it, because you've gone into a reality that says you have to have confidence. And to get in there, you have to really squeeze yourself down into little blocks and try and get in there. But if you're just running free, there's no such thing as confidence. It's just all there. It's just all go. It's like being on the downhill ride. You don't have to have anything to drive you, and you don't have to have anything to make sure it's enjoyable. It just is. We're starting to see young people demonstrate what I spoke about that sounded freaky, that you can actually have that essence that says you don't take any notice of gravity. You see some of the dances, it's impossible by normal geometry for them to stand at the angles they stand and not fall over. But they do it. To get on one hand and spin and almost take off. Impossible by normal physics, but they're doing it. They're taking on the essence that I'm talking about. And they're just giving us a little bit of a picture of how, if you want to, you can allow that essence in and you'll walk straight up a wall. And they do it. You see someone run 12 foot up a wall and not leave the wall. Impossible by our standards. But have a look around the internet, you'll see it many times. So when I'm saying that all this is available, it's only a matter of seeing past the impossible. When you're in this world, and the only way you can do that is to step out to that edge of reality and take one more step into that big nothingness that lets you go, wow. Thank God for that. Do it twice, you won't come back. Because to struggle back into that hole again takes so much time and so much effort, you won't believe it till you try it. And you'll have to grind yourself down to nothing to get in there. Because that's the process that we've gone through all our life to get into that little hole that we call our reality. So the true reality is bursting with seamless joy that we can't ignore. And as far as advancement goes, from there, we advance all the time in an unlimited format in every direction, every field, and in places that we've never heard of or seen before. And from there, we have the opportunity to use our skill and demonstrate that in this world. And it's not measurable. And it's not to determine a value. It's to do things that nobody would ever expect. to make the computer spit out something because it would be better than what it was going to do. To make things turn up at the right time. To see what you thought was really bad in a different light. Just to move to the other side a little and laugh at it. To go under the wave and come up and go, whoa, hello, that was a big fly. But to go under the wave and relax and feel yourself lifted out. The world will respond because you are demonstrating who you are. The essence of the flowers, the essence of beauty of the trees, the interaction of the wind, all those things will keep you alive instead of annoying you. All the movement of the world will actually help you generate the power that you have to demonstrate in the world. And this is this unlimited power that comes through each person and can turn into anything. In the restricted mode that we've been in most of our lives, this seems impossible. But look around. And as you look around, the world around you changes to what you see. And if you see the world around you as something really interesting, it is. Everything about it winds you up, puts you on top of everything, and makes it run smooth. This is us demonstrating to ourselves that we came here bearing gifts that we wanted to demonstrate. And we decided we would demonstrate them on Earth. The feelings that we used to have of saying, get me out of here, just reversed. Because this is our stage. And we will move past everything that has ever been put in front of us and dance in front of everyone. Instead of hiding behind the scenes, wondering, wow, are they going to see me? When you run from another place and you're demonstrating in this world, you understand that it's your stage, that it's your setting, that it's your scene, and that it happened because you decided. When you get down into that area that is the stage, which is the reality that you thought you'd demonstrate everything in, you can't even see outside the stage because the lights are too bright. You're not game to go past the edge because you don't know whether you're going to fall off. We're now at the end of a production where the lights have been dimmed, the stage lights are almost off, and we can walk out to where we're supposed to be and we can see where we actually live. And you don't even have to look back at the stage because you know until you decide what the stage will be, it's not yours. And if somebody else is playing there, you can turn around and have a look, but it's still not yours. When it's time for you to demonstrate, whatever it is you want to demonstrate, boom, the scene will change, even if it's in the same place. And suddenly, it's your turn to perform. Just like an application on your telephone. You press it, your turn to perform. The whole scene changes, and away you go. We're almost at intermission here now, but we're actually at intermission in the scene of life. And if you can just see, this is the opportunity to go and look at where you came from and to go and look at what you've created, then you're going to really enjoy staying out there and not coming back on stage until it's ready for you. And it'll only be ready for you when you press the button and say, now. And you'll demonstrate, and then you'll move off stage. And you'll go back to being the magnificent being that you are, where you can hone more skills, go to more dimensions, go into other worlds, and be ready to present again. This has probably been said in different ways many, many times. But right now, you have the opportunity to just be there. And you'll find your whole body and its system and everything around it will be quite different because it has that knowledge now. It won't be in struggle mode because the scene's over. And when you know that as soon as you leave there, the performance is over, you can relax, you can have a drink, do what you like. Wow, you've got no idea what's there. There is so much for everyone to discover. So I'll leave you with that, and we'll come back again soon after a 5-minute break and see what we can dig up next. Thank you. So welcome back. What we should look at now is what's going to happen in the future. Where do we head from here? And what are the processes that we should go through? I think the first thing is we've all decided to work together. And because of that, there needs to be some way of gathering so that we can express to one another what's come out of us moving forward. I think in the near future that we will come up with something that allows us to do that, maybe along the lines of a seminar, but where it's interactive and people can turn up. We're not really sure of the format of anything until the moment it turns up. But right now, I'm looking at what I've written many, many times that indicates that there are probably 1,000 different subjects that people are going to bring forward that need attention in this world to allow us to move them forward to where we can see everybody in a position to do what we're doing. Not so that we can help. We're here to demonstrate. We're here to walk in front of people. We're here to show our brilliance. And each person will then get the opportunity to show their brilliance. If you look at it logically, it's a mammoth task. But if you just look at it and say we're going to do it, it's just like you did when you were younger. You say, I'm going to buy a house, or I'm going to buy a car. You don't look at how, you just decide to do it. So we're in a position where we've decided to fulfill everybody's needs, no matter who they are, how big they are, or what they entail. Those needs will vary enormously depending on where people are standing and what they're looking at. But the biggest aspect of all that is that there are so many of us, it's going to be easy. And it's not a matter of gathering everyone, it's a matter of everybody deciding when they're going to come on stage, when they're going to demonstrate. Who do they need to set the stage? Not what needs to be done to change the stage that's there now to suit them. We have the ability to tear everybody's world down and rebuild it in a fraction of a second. We do it to one another all the time. We tear it down and then forget to rebuild it. We can tear it down and rebuild it in a fraction of a second to meet anybody's needs. And that's our intention. To rebuild the stage for everyone every minute to suit their life so that everyone takes a turn, and that turn might be the same instant, but it won't be on the same plane. It might be in the same space, but it won't be in the same dimension. Like everybody having a meal, 55 different conversations going on, and everybody knows what they're talking about. You don't interfere. You're experts at creating dimensions. We're experts at creating dimensions in every world and using the ones that we left behind ready for us to access. So some of the strange things that people do to one another are actually signals that are saying, it's my turn. Come on, why are you holding me out? So as we get together, we'll find that we will naturally be able to create those dimensions, create those circumstances, and make them happen, providing we don't try to do it from on stage. That's been the biggest mistake. We have to get off the stage, get back to where we come from, stand in the reality that includes everything. Then we've got a chance to do something with the stage, or make another one, or send you to a different place, or another world. It's quite easy, but you can't do it from the stage of life that we decided was our place of demonstration. On that place of demonstration, you can have infinite number of scenes happening all at once. And they can be happening in one room if you want. The greatest magician in the world can't do what each one of you can do. And you do it all the time. You walk into a room and you say, I don't like this. Boom, everybody's uncomfortable all of a sudden. Just by the wave of your hand. An inflection of any sort is more powerful than a year's work. These are the things we'll bring to the forefront and show people how they can instantly change the condition of anything without trying to hurt it. They can instantly move a whole set of energies, a whole set of circumstances, everybody's attitude, everything in a fraction of a second. Without any intention of hurting anybody, but because we're doing it from off the stage, it will just create another stage. You all know how you've done that from time to time, but forgot that you're in somebody else's house, or you're on the place that wasn't supposed to be changed, and, or the kids were embarrassed, or whatever. But once we get together, we'll find that we don't have to actually be together to know our requirements. Slight inflection is the same as a slight communication. It contains everything you intended to. They've discovered recently that they can send packets of information throughout the world and into space and all that sort of thing that can provide communication for a year in the tiniest fraction of a second. They haven't got anywhere near us yet. We do it to one another all the time. We actually can leave physical effects on people done from the right place, with the right perspective. That's a godsend. You can really make a difference to everything that you ever have contact with, and you have contact with everything. So when I said about the practical side of things, we need to be in a position to demonstrate what effect the skills have in the physical world. The only way you can do that is to have that one time when you get together. Not just everybody, but all those who need to be together at a certain, or to have a few drinks, or to celebrate. They're the times when everything comes together, and you can walk away for years. And the next time you see the person, it's just like you were there a minute ago. Because time in those circumstances disappears. And the little thing that's inside us on the stage that says, you have an obligation to me, why didn't you ring? It's not there when you're not on the stage because you're in communication all the time. And you just know what everybody's doing, you know what they're not doing, and you don't care. Because there is nothing that you're trying to achieve. As we move along, doing all this in this world, we do have to generate income. And we'll do that by quite a different method than what you see at the moment. We will all start to demonstrate to one another how the movement of funds is actually what it's about, not the collection. The movement of funds amongst people generates wealth. And we can just keep moving small amounts around. They will get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, just like you did when you bought your house. And all of a sudden you look back and say, got no idea how I paid for that. But you did. And next thing, you've got something worth so much, it costs you more to protect it than it does to get rid of it. So we'll show everybody how turning things over, having new and not maintaining everything, just putting it back into service. It came from an earthly service that knows how to recycle. You can throw an old truck out there and it'll disappear after a while. All these things we can accelerate, and we can make sure we all have everything new, we all have money circulating, we all have the ability to demonstrate what we need to demonstrate at a particular time, because if it's not your turn, you don't need the money. So you leave it recycle. When it's your turn, lots of money comes in, you do what you want to do, and then it recycles. It's not logical, but it's a fact. It's how your life works. It's always worked that way. Nobody ever did well by planning. They say they did, but they only did well out of things that came out of nowhere. The magic will always be there. So providing for magic doesn't work. It doesn't care if you've got any money or not. It's going to work whether you like it or not. And you always like it because for some reason it has a quality that we all adhere to. So as we move along with the magic and miracles, you'll see that there are ways to demonstrate that actually work. Ways in the world that actually work with all the crazy rules we've got. And because of the crazy rules, we can make things generate instead of deteriorate. A personal situation will multiply all the time. It has no other way. And the biggest problem we have is to try and stay as we are. Because you're growing all the time and you try to stay as you are, you create pressure. And you compress yourself into a smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller hole until it goes dark. It only takes one person to walk up and go, that's enough. Boom, your whole life changes. And you don't know where you are because you're so used to being so tightly bound, someone just took the wrappers off. And you feel lost and you run around for a couple of weeks trying to get back in there. And it won't happen if we know that none of us will allow it to continue. Even if somebody talks about healing, it's really interesting. But what happens is we create an instant field person to accept or not accept. We can all do it. Some more powerful than others, but we can all do it. Some people don't like trying to heal, they just like to make everything okay. And you know what? If you make everything okay, there's nothing wrong with it, so you don't need healing. And that's a million different ways. And I think we're going to reach the point where we won't even use that word healing, because it has lots of things attached to it that we're really not interested in. Because if you send that gift of perfect life, perfect health, and a magic future to someone, well, you're way up there, and you just watch them change and walk away. And they will change, and they will find a way around whatever's worrying them. Every time. So the world that's running around disappearing in itself all the time will actually continue, because it's just like everything in the ground continues to recycle. People continue to recycle. Things that don't seem so good will still be there. And you don't have to fix them to make everything okay. Because as soon as you see everything okay, the scene that you're living in changes. The stage changes, the curtains close on the other place, and they might be still doing it. They don't even know nobody's watching. They're busy, but they're not in the limelight. They're not on the program of demonstrating what you brought to the world to demonstrate. And you really don't have to worry about maintaining the world, because you keep changing it every minute anyway. When I say we don't come from here, I mean it. When I say there are people who do come from here, I mean that as well. And they might look the same to most people, but they don't to me. I can see straight away where people come from and why they're here. And it's like everything else. There are stagehands. There are people who move things. There are workers. There are people who are paid quite well to do stage work, the lighting, the whole lot. They belong there. Those who are the actors and actresses, they don't belong on the stage until it's their turn. But they love to watch. As long as they know they're watching, everything's perfect. If they don't know they're watching, they start interfering. So it's somebody's turn, and the person who was on there last doesn't realise that it's not their turn, they're going to make all sorts of trouble for the new person. How many times have you seen that? Every minute in life, there's this competition because nobody said, you're off stage, to the person who was having a really good time. Because they get locked into the stage life and don't realise that the life beyond the stage is way more exciting. The stage is the day job, or even not even a full day job. The hour that we spend here takes you into an area that's 1,000,000 days long. And that's why when we're finished, it just seems like 10 minutes. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually stretch ourselves a little bit and involve ourselves in some technology, because many of us are able to channel in from wherever we came from data, pictures, designs, things that we'd love to demonstrate. Even as we're channeling them, we don't know what they are until we actually get out there and start to do it. So I don't know how many thousands of people would be so brilliant at so many things, but they're not because they're not given a turn. It's our intention to make sure everybody gets a turn. It won't happen just from one place. It'll be multidimensional, many positions around the world and many positions outside the world. And I'm not going to hold back. I have access to all that. And I know a lot of you know that. So we will extend beyond here. And we will bring stuff to this world that you've never seen before. So we will have an open, what would you call it? Bucket, if you like, where everything can come in and we'll look at it. And nothing is limited. Doesn't matter how crazy it might sound. We will open up part of our network so that we can receive from everyone and then start to interconnect with other centres that I know are really, really waiting to get online. The biggest part of our future hinges around us deciding to move forward all the time. Even when we hit a brick wall, we turn around, back out, go again. Then we hit another brick wall, we go, oh, all right, we'll try again. And you'll find a gap. Once you find that gap, you're on your own. Except for when all the beings from other dimensions, other worlds, meet you on the other side, lift you up, and welcome you into the world of your Creator. And at that point, you can do anything. We intend for everybody to experience that and to experience it every day. We have what we call beyond technology. So I won't be using the phrase, we have the technology. We have the beyond technology, and we'll make it happen. If I stood on stage a year ago and said some of these things, people would walk out. And I did. And people did walk out. But there are a few who actually experienced something that they didn't know was possible. When I delivered energies to people that they'd never felt before, when I connected directly to each person and had an intimate communication with each one of them, be it 50, 60, 100 people or more, when those things happened, a little question mark came up around everyone's head. What's this about? And now I feel the same input from many other people. So every step is worth it. Even though you might not get any feedback apart from a bash in the head. When you look from where you know you can look, you know that that being got it. And you might never see them again in your life. But you know they're there. They're always there. And they're always reconnecting, even though they don't physically come and say hello. So know that we have this communication. We have much more than what we've ever looked at on a daily basis when we're growing up. But the thrills that we've felt at special times, playing sport, dancing, singing, art, all those things that allowed us to be up front on the stage, they made us feel real. We're about to make all those things happen continuously. You can't do it from the stage because it'll blow your mind. You have to be in the reality that contains the stage. Looking at the stage and saying, when I get my access, this is what I'll do. And if you get impatient, you just flick your fingers and make a new stage. And it'll appear and you'll be there. So I think we're getting pretty close to the end now, and I'm sure that each time we speak, there'll be a lot more to say. And once we get some more interconnection with everyone, some more interaction, I'll be able to add a lot more. So thank you all, and hopefully we'll see you again next week. Bye.